So, hello everyone. I am Wendy. Let's try to fix this a little bit. Let's see. Propping this. There we go. That's good ish. Kind of good, kind of bad. All right. So, tonight is the fourth night of my 40 days and 40 nights reading marathon. And I am going to be reading what happened after Sarah passed away, and the and Isaac getting his bride. Okay, so just before I start reading, I just want to tell a little bit about this. I am reading from Sword of the Spirit. This is an interpretation of the Bible that the names are spelled in a transliterated, reconstructed Paleo Hebrew. All right, that's a mouthful. But basically, I will be using pronunciations that are similar to what they would have sounded like um, in Paleo Hebrew. All right, and the sacred name is also um, something that I have in the Sword of the Spirit Bible. It is the sacred name is the Tetragrammaton, and I do not use the Lord to express the Most High. I use Yehweh, which means He exists. Okay, so and I know a lot of people say Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahuwah. Yehweh is the pronunciation that was given to me in a very supernatural way, and it was confirmed by uh, someone who I know that speaks several Semitic languages, and he said, yes, that is the true pronunciation of that name. Hello, thank you for coming. Lo, the creator, how you doing? So anyway, hey, if you don't mind, please click the like button and also subscribe. It really, what I'm trying to do in these 40 days and 40 nights of Bible reading is to try to build up my subscribers, and then of course I will do other things after I get through these readings. But this ministry is built on the Word of God, and so I am doing this 40 days and 40 nights of reading. Hello, thank you so much, Shin Sonic, Shin, Shin Sonic fan. Where are you from? Hey, let me know where you're from in the chat box. Um, so once again, so a little bit about myself. I worked on my Bible project, Swords of the Spirit, for several years, and I don't have it published. It's a very big book, uh, but and it's expensive to publish. But I am reading it for the people. And however, I do have this book that I wrote called God's Master Plan for the Masses. Um, in it, I talk about the how God wrote His Paleo Hebrew um, Aleph Tau right there over the United States with the pathway of those four eclipses. Okay, so I talk about that in this book, and that happened from 2017 through 2024. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Thank you so much, everyone who has subscribed. I really appreciate that. And also be sure to hit the like button. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read two chapters tonight. Let me pull them up. I'm going to be reading 24 and 25 out of Genesis. Bereshit is how you would pronounce that. Genesis, I don't even know what Genesis means. It's Greek. but Bereshit means beginnings. So that's what I'm going to read right now are the two chapters concerning Isaac getting his wife. All right. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them in the chat box or on the comment section when this live stream is over, and I will be happy to answer whatever questions you have. All right. Chapter 24. And Abraham was old, well stricken in age, and Yahweh blessed Abraham in all things. Therefore Abraham said to the oldest servant of his house, who ruled over all that he had, I pray you, put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by he who exists, the Elohim of the heavens and the Elohim of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite, among whom I dwell, but you will go to my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son Yitzhak. However, the servant said to him, perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me to this land. Then should I return your son to the land from where you came? Therefore Abraham said to him, be careful not to return my son there. He who exists, Elohim of the heavens, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and who spoke and swore to me, saying, unto your seed I will give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you will take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be clear of this oath, and do not return, only do not return my son there. Therefore the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning that matter. Moreover, the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, for all the goods of his master were in his hand. Then he arose and went to Aram of the Nehorim, to the city of Nahor. Also he made the camels kneel down outside the city by a well of water during evening time, the time when women go out to draw water. And he said, O he who exists, Elohim of my master Abraham, I pray you, send me good speed today, and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. Therefore let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I will say, let down your pitcher, I pray you, that I may drink, and she say, drink, and I will give your camels drink also. May she be who you have appointed for your servant Yitzhak, and by this I will know that you have shown kindness to your master, to my master. And it came to pass, before he was done speaking, behold, Ribkah came out, who was born unto Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, for her pitcher, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, a virgin, no man had known her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her, and said, let me, I pray you, drink a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. Therefore she hastened to let down her pitcher upon her hand, and she gave him drink. Then she was then when she was done giving drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, unto until they are done drinking. Therefore she hastened and emptied her pitcher into the trough. Then she ran again to the well to draw water. and she drew all and she drew for all the camels. And the men wondered at her, and in silence, to know whether Yahweh had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels were done drinking, then the man took a golden ring of half a shekel weight, and two bracelets of 10 shekels weight, in gold, for her hands. Then he asked, Whose daughter are you? Tell me, I pray you, is there room in your father's house for us to lodge? And she answered him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, who, who was born unto Nahor. Moreover, she said to him, We have both straw and enough provender, and room to lodge. Then the man bowed down his head and worshipped Yahweh. And he said, Benevolent is he who exists, Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not left my master destitute of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, Yahweh has led me to the house of my master's brethren. Then the damsel ran and told her mother's house these things. And Rivkah had a brother, and his name was Laban. Therefore Laban ran out to the house. Therefore Laban ran out to the men, towards the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the ring and the bracelet upon his sister's hand, and when he heard the words of Rivkah his sister, saying, The man said this to me, then he came to the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, you blessed of he who exists. Who do you stand? Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared, for I have prepared the house and room for the camels. So the man came into the house. Then he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the men's feet who were with him. And there was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told my errand. And he replied, Speak on. Therefore he said, I am Abraham's servant, and he who exists has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. Therefore he has given me flocks and herds and silver and gold and men servants and maid servants and camels and asses. Also Sarah, my master's wife, birthed a son unto my master when she was old, and unto him he was given everything. And my master made me swear, saying, You will not take a wife unto my son from the daughters of Canaan, from the daughters of the Canaanite, in whose land I dwell, but you will go to your father's house and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son. However, I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. And he said to me, He who exists, before whom I walk, will send his angel with you, and prosper your way, and you will take a wife for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. Then you will then you will be clear from this oath when you come to my kindred. Also, if they will not give unto you, you will be clear of from this oath. Therefore I came towards the well today, and said, O he who exists, Elohim of my master Abraham, if now you do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water. And it will come to pass that when the virgin comes forth to draw water, then I will lay I will say to her, Give me, I pray you, a little water from your pitcher to drink. Moreover, She will say to me, both you drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let the same be the woman whom he who exists has instructed for my master's son. And before I was done speaking in my heart, behold, Ribkah came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder. Moreover, she went down to the well and drew water. Then I said to her, let me drink, I pray you. Therefore she made haste and let down her pitcher from her shoulder. Then she said, drink, and I will give your camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. Then I asked her and said, whose daughter are you? And she answered, the daughter of Bethuel, Yahor's son, whom Milcah bore unto him. So I put the ring upon her nose and the bracelets upon her hands. Then I bowed down my head and worshipped he who exists, and I praised he who exists, Elohim of my fathers, Elohim of my master Abraham, who had led me in the way, who had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter to his son. Now, if you will deal kindly and truly to my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, so that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceeds from Yahweh. We cannot speak to you good or bad. Behold, Ribkah is before you. Take and go, and let her be your master's son's wife. Also, he who exists has spoken. And it came to pass, when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped Yahweh, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and clothes, and gave them to Ribkah. Then he gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. So they ate and drank, he and the men who were with him. Thus they tarried all night. Then he rose up in the morning and said, send me away to my master. However, her brother and her mother said, let the damsel abide with us a few days, at least 10. After that she may go. However, he said to them, do not hinder me, seeing that he who exists has prospered my way. Send me away, so that I may go to my master. And they said, we will call the damsel and inquire by her mouth. So they called Ribkah and asked of her, will you go with this man? And she answered, I will go. Therefore they went away, Ribkah their sister and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. Also they blessed Ribkah and said to her, you are our sister. May you be the mother of thousands of millions, and let your seed possess the gate of those who hate them. Then Ribkah and her damsel arose, and they rode upon the camels and followed the men. Then the servant took Ribkah and went with and went his way. Furthermore, Yitzhak came from the way of Be'er Rai, for he dwelt in the southern territory. And Yitzhak went out to meditate in the field during the evening, and he lifted up his eyes. Then he looked, and behold, the camels coming. Also Rivkah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Yitzhak, she lighted off the camel, for she asked the servant, who is this man walking in the field to meet us? And the servant answered, he is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. Then the servant told Yitzhak all the things that he had done. Therefore Yitzhak brought her into the tent of his mother, Sarah, and took Rivka, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Yitzhak was consoled after his mother. All right. So, thank you so much for participating in the chat. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And of course, subscribe. I am trying to build up my subscribers. I've got a little over 100 right now. It would be really great if I could uh, get to 1,000 or something. But by the end of this, we'll see how it works out. But again, thank you so much for participating. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. And if you're not watching in the live stream, you can post your comments, your questions in the comment section. All right. So basically, and that was a long chapter. Abraham sent Eliezer, Eliezer, getting those pilly Hebrew and English pronunciations are a little difficult, uh, sent them to his homeland because Abraham had traveled down into the land of Canaan, uh, which is pronounced Canaan, and but he didn't want to get a local for his son to marry. So he sent his servant up to where he had originated, and from there, that's where he wanted his daughter-in-law to come from, of their kindred. And so the daughter-in-law is like a second cousin to Isaac. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, because Milcah is and Nahor is Abraham's sibling and sister-in-law, and Betuel is their child. So that would have made Betuel a first cousin to Isaac, but Rivka is younger is younger than is the daughter of Betuel. So needless to say, because remember Abraham had Isaac when he was very old. And so his kinfolk, they had a couple of generations before Abraham ever had any kids. So this is a second cousin to Abraham, to Isaac. All right, let's go ahead and move forward with chapter 25. And again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bore unto him Zimron, and Yakshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Yishbak, and Shalach. Then Yakshan begot Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan became the Asharim, and the Lethushim, and the Leamim. And the sons of Midian were Ober, and Upper, and Chanuk, and Abidu, and Aldai, Aldaah. All of these were the sons of Ketuah, or Keturah. So a lot of people don't know this. It's not taught in traditional Sunday school or anything. But Abraham did marry a third time. So he had um, his sister, his half sister Sarah, then her handmaid Hagar, and now uh, Keturah. Okay, this is a third wife, and he had a lot of kids with them. So let's count those out real quick. Zimran, Yakshan, Medan, Shabak, Shalach. Okay, so he had 6 kids with Keturah. So he had a total of 9. Then he had Isaac, and then Ishmael. So he had a total of 9 kids, not quite a dozen. And so he was the father of nations. He himself was actually not a nation. He was the father of nations because many of these kids went on to have 12. Okay, for instance, Ishmael, Yishmael, he went on to have 12 sons and a daughter, and that is a biblical qualifier for becoming your own nation. And of course, um, Jacob did the same thing. And I think there's another these children. I think there might be a record of them doing that as well. So Abraham was the father of nations. All right, let's move forward. However, Abraham gave all that he had to Yitzhak, but to the sons of the concubines who Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Yitzhak, his son, while he still lived eastward to the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 175 years. Then Abraham perished and died a good old age, an old man and full of years. Thus he was gathered to his people. Therefore his sons Yitzhak and Yishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Abrun, the son of the Zachar, the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased from the sons of Het. There Abraham and Sarah his wife were buried. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Elohim blessed Yitzhak his son, and Yitzhak dwelt in Be'er Lachirai. Now these are the generations of Abraham's sons: Yishmael, whom Hagar the Mitrite and Sarai's handmaid birth unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Yishmael, by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Yishmael was Nabayut, then Gedar, then Abdeal, then Midsham, then Mishma, and Adma, and Masha, Gedar, and Tima, Yathar, Napash, and Gedemah. These are the sons of Yishmael, and these are their names, by their towns and by their castles, 12 rulers unto their nation. So right there, it confirms what I said. There were 12. And these are the years of the life of Yishmael, 137 years. Then he perished and died. Thus he was gathered to his people. And they dwelt from Chehulah to Shur, and before Mitzrim, as you go towards Ashurah. He died in the presence of all his brethren. Also, these are the generations of Abraham's son Yitzhak. Abraham begot Yitzhak, and Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Rivkah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Arami of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban an Arami. And Yitzhak entreated Yehweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yehweh was entreated by him. Thus Rivkah, his wife, conceived. However, the children struggled together within her, and she asked, "If it is to be, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Yehweh, and Yehweh answered her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples will be separated from your bowels. The one people will be stronger than the other people, and the elder will serve the younger." And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. Therefore they called his name Ashau, hairy. This is Esau. And after that his brother came out, and his hand took hold unto Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, supplanter. And Yitzhak was 60 years old when she birthed them. And the lads grew, and Ashau was skilled, and Ashau was a skilled hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Yitzhak loved Ashau, because he ate of the game meat, but Rivkah loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked stew. Then Ashau came from the field, and he was faint. Therefore Ashau said to Jacob, I pray you, feed me that red stew, for I am faint. Thus his name was called Adum, red. Also he had red hair. That's another reason. However, Jacob said, Sell me today your birthright. And Ashau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit is this birthright for me? Then Jacob said, Swear to me today. So he swore to him. Thus he sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob, then Jacob gave Ashau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank. Then he rose up and went his way. Therefore Ashau despised his birthright. Okay, so right there we are it's laying the foundation of the future nations. Now remember, Rivka, she had a very tough pregnancy, and she went to God and asked, why is this happening? And he said, you have two nations in your womb. That meant that each of them were going to have 12 children, and they both do. So 12 sons each, and they both do. So uh, yep, Abraham was the father of nations, but he himself was not a nation. Okay, well, that's going to be it for tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching. This is day 4 of 40, actually, it's night 4 of 40 days and nights of reading the Torah. Join me again tomorrow, sometime in the 7 o'clock hour. I try to get on at 7 o'clock, but I don't always make it. Anyway, thank you so much. And again, please be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.